all of my convictions. But I do three things that I think has helped me out. First is I spend 80% of my time on things that matter to 100% of the American people. That idea that most people, when they get up in the morning, aren't thinking about the next political race. They're thinking about their job and whether they can afford the things they need. They're thinking about their next doctor's appointment. They're thinking about the roads and bridges they drive, the school they drop their kids off at, and whether they feel safe in their community. When we focus on those things, when we spend 80% of our time, we improve the life of all Americans without leaving anybody behind. The second thing I try to do, Reverend, is talk like a normal human being. You've seen how some of this speak has crept into the Democratic Party, and we sound like we're talking down to people. We've got to talk to people and not at them. You know, Kentucky got hit by that opioid epidemic as hard as anybody, but maybe West Virginia. I mean, we've all lost people we love and care about. I didn't lose one to substance use disorder. I lost them all to addiction. If we want to push back against this president and what he's doing to SNAP, trying to hold hungry people hostage for political gain, it can't be that they'll be food insecure. It's got to be that they'll go hungry. We've got to communicate to people in the values that they know and how they would talk to each other. But the last thing I try to do is to get beyond the what and to the why. You know, Democrats are real good on policy. I mean, we can do policy point 3, sub point 2, bullet point 4, I underneath. But we need to talk about our why. I mean, my why is my family and my faith. It's that idea that the golden rule says we're supposed to be good to each other, not bad to each other. The parable of the Good Samaritan says lift somebody up and not kick them while they're down. You know, the Bible says accept one another as Christ has accepted you. It doesn't have a comma unless in there. No exclusions and no asterisks. So I've taken positions that people would think you can't take in Kentucky. In 2023, I'm running for re-election, and they passed the most anti-LGBTQ plus bill that I had ever seen. They had $10 million ready for those nasty ads, and you know what I did? I vetoed the bill anyways, because it was the right thing to do. But when I did it, I explained my why. I said, the Bible teaches me that all children are children of God, and I don't want people picking on those kids. And so if the legislature was going to show them judgment, I was going to show them acceptance. If they were going to show them hate, I was going to show them love. You know, if the legislature was going to attack these kids, I wanted their governor to know that he cares about them. So I think the 8100, talk like a normal human being, and actually share in this world that craves authenticity your why. I mean, who you're seeing here today is who I am. And I don't try to pretend to be anybody I'm not. I will tell you, I walked off the stage in 2023, having won re-election by 5 points in Kentucky, which is like winning by 30 anywhere else. And I looked at my wife and I said, whew, we'll never have to run a campaign again. And I'm not sure that's true today. I don't have any announcement, but I will not leave a broken country to my kids or anyone else's kids or grandkids. This is not the United States of America I grew up in. And I admit the United States of America hasn't been perfect and has actually been tough for a lot of people. But what we are seeing right now, a president that threatens to end another civilization, is anti-American. It's also anti-Christian.
So as we wrap this up, you've not made a decision, but you've not ruled out. This is not an announcement. It's not an announcement, but it is saying you haven't ruled anything out. 23 may not have been your last race.
It may not have been my last run. What I'm running this year is the Democratic Governors Association, and I hope everybody is watching governors' races. Yes, we've got to make Hakeem Jeffries the Speaker of the House and take back the House of Representatives. We got to make a run at the Senate, which I think we can, which you and I know should be structurally impossible, but for what this president is doing to this country. But if you care about 28, if you want to run in more than 5 states with zero margin of error, it's not about flipping the House seat in Des Moines, which we have to do. It's about flipping the governor's mansion in Iowa, in Ohio, in Georgia, in Nevada. It's about electing good people that not only are going to do what Republicans can't, which is govern well, but are going to help us win that presidency, whether it's me or somebody else in 2028. I will do everything I can to protect and restore and improve this country.
Well, Reverend Malone, who's on our board, tells me that, and you've said it several times, that you're a practicing Christian, a prayerful man, and I'm sure you'll pray about whatever you decide. I want you to know, I every day I get up, wake up, and before I go to the gym to work out, I get on my knees and pray. I'm old school, I get on my knees. I pray right before I go to sleep. So I talk to God at least twice a day, and I'm going to ask him when he tells you what to do.
All right. Are you going to make a recommendation?
Am I going to make a recommendation? That's between me and God.
All right.
Governor Andy Beshear.
Thank you.
All right, everybody take your seat. I'm getting ready to take the offering. Don't go nowhere, Tracy Maitland. Shh, we didn't raise no money. And then I want to hear from our civil rights leaders measure the movement, but I did not raise our Saturday morning offering. And I'm taking two sides so you can get ready, because I got one speaker before I let the offering in, is that you that will give today and you that want to pledge to help the building. We've got to pay off our bank mortgage that we own. And already we've had scores of people say they're going to give $500 or more or pledge that. But let me, before we raise the offering, before we raise offering, I'll give you time to dig in your pockets. A man that has worked with NAN since its inception, a man that has been a model to our community, and a man that has been a friend to me down through the years. And he broke his schedule to be with us today. And I want us to hear from our beloved friend and brother, the United States Senator from the state of New Jersey, Senator Cory Booker.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. All right, I am pleased to be here. Reverend Al changed my schedule when he tells me I need to come. I wanted to come. This is home to me. I am home with the folk here, and I want to bring the attention back from the stage to this room, because we know the truth of NAN. It was founded by the Rev 35 years ago, and it was founded with this mission, that we are the heroes that we need. We are the leaders that we're looking for. He founded it in the tradition of Martin Luther King, that the arc can bend, but we gotta bend it. He founded it in the tradition of Jesse Jackson, that we are looking for that pot of gold, but we need a rainbow coalition to get there. We are here under the understanding that our community has not gotten to where it is because of who was in office. It has always gotten where it is because of what Frederick Douglass said: power concedes nothing without a demand. And so I want to tell you about NAN's experience in my life. My Reverend Pastor Jefferson from Metropolitan Baptist Church is on the board of NAN and was New Jersey's leader. I know y'all across the river, it's a great place called New Jersey. And I want to tell you that when NAN finds itself in a moment of moral urgency, this organization turns anger into action, outrage into outworking. It mobilizes and organizes. I want to tell you a true story about this terrible storm that hit New York and New Jersey called Hurricane Sandy. And NAN was organizing even then distributing food and clothing and sanitary needs all throughout the region. And I was mayor of the city of Newark, leaning on Rev and his advice, and we became, in our church community, the coalition that was helping people now. We didn't wait for FEMA, we did the work together. And so I'm mayor of the city, and I'm driving along in my SUV as the storm is coming in. One more sweep of the city, and the SUV is shaking like a leaf in the wind, and the two officers driving me, trying to see through the windshield that was being punished with rain. We're on this long stretch of road in the West Ward of the city, and I get this phone call that I believe begins with the stupidest question in America. And you all forgive me if I sound impertinent, but here was the question. The person said, "Hello, it's the White House operator. Will you hold for the President of the United States?" I'm like, who says no to that question? And I want you all to know, I miss Obama. I miss her husband too, but I really miss Obama. And I said to the woman, yes, I'll hold. And next thing you know, I hear my second favorite Obama, Barack Obama. He's calling me from the Oval Office, and I'm very touched by him. He knows the storm is hitting our region, and he's calling to check in on me and the people of the city of Newark. I hang up the phone with him, and the phone rings again as if these two people planned it. I had just gotten a call of grace and decency, and I answer the phone, and this time I recognize the voice. No operator. You all don't know who he is, but he was the governor of my state at the time, Chris Christie. Now listen, this is not a time for partisanship. It's a time for purpose. And he's doing the same thing. He's calling to check on me and the biggest city in the state. I hang up the phone with him, and I'm going up a hill. And at the top of the hill, I can see at the peak, I don't see anything through the wind and the rain and the dark, but I see a light swinging back and forth. And as we get closer, I see it's a man swinging a light. And I'm wondering what he's doing out there. And then I get a little closer, and behind him, I see all the trees had come falling down. And they pulled down all the light poles and pulled down all the wires. And we pulled up next to him. We were going to call the emergency vehicles, alert them to the situation. But I will tell you right now, when I pulled up, I rolled down my window, and I see it's an elderly man holding this big light in a yellow slicker, and I yell at him, "What are you doing out here?" And then this man looks at me like I just asked him the stupidest question in America. This man points over to the shattered wood and twisted wires and says, Mayor, I'm out here to make sure no one comes along and gets hurt. I had just talked to the President of the United States of America. I talked to the governor of my state. I'm the mayor of the largest city in my state, but I will never forget that the greatness I best saw exhibited that night in a savage storm, in dark of night, and wind and rain, was the man who stood on a hill holding up a light in the night so that other people won't get hurt. That is the story of who we are. That is the story of Nan. That's the story of how we got here. Voting rights in America did not happen because Strom Thurmond came to the Senate floor and said, "I've seen the light." We didn't get suffrage because a whole bunch of people on the Senate floor put their hands in and says, "Okay, fellas, right to vote on 3, 1, 2. No. Every movement in America, from Mary Church Terrell to Fred Shuttlesworth, has always happened because of groups like this that organized for it, mobilized for it, stood for it, and fought for it. You were on the top of the hill trying to guide this country forward over the resistance often in Washington. And so I'm here to tell you all, as we have folk on the stage, we have to stay focused on the now. Not future ambition, but present action. We have work to do when black housing, home ownership is worse than it was back in the 1960s. We have work to do when still black women are dying 3 times the rate of white women when they're giving birth. We have work to do when black unemployment rates are skyrocketing, and the man who was in the office right now and said, "Black people, what do you have to lose?" We know now it's jobs and so much more. But we have to understand that this is the moment for which we were created. I believe we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. But I also know that faith without works is dead. And this is one of those moments that I call to NAN now. This organization has made 35 years of progress, of perseverance, of power. But this next stretch is perhaps the most consequential that we have. And so let's turn and understand. We have ancestors whose blood, sweat, and tears got us here. We have seniors and elders in this room who've carried us. We have organizers who sustain us. We have young people in this room who must outdream us. But I want you to know I lift every voice I can, every time I can. We must, in a chorus of conviction, know our history. And I want to end with this. I've been talking a lot about our history because it's both inspirational and instructive. And I want to take you to a moment right after the Civil War broke out in the 1860s, and there was a ship invaluable in the Confederate Army called the Planter that had a flat bottom to it, and it carried munitions up and down. It was a fearsome ship, and the Union Army had pulled their boats back because that shallow water they couldn't navigate. They'd put a blockade on South Carolina. Well, on that ship there was a man named Robert Smalls. He was enslaved. You all know who I'm talking about. He was enslaved. But he knew it is better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than have an opportunity and not be prepared. And so he studied that captain, how he navigated the ship, how he did the signals to the ports, everything about him. And one night, all of the white people on that boat, the captain and others, left the boat and left the slaves there, and that was his opportunity. He gathered the families of the enslaved onto the boat, into the hull. He put on the captain's jacket and pulled his straw hat down. And in the middle of the night, he took that boat out and now sailed down the coast. Every fortification he went to, he did the signals perfectly. They looked through the darkness, saw the captain's jacket and hat, and they let him on by. But then he gets to Fort Sumter, the big fort with the mighty cannons. He does the signals, and the signals are accepted. But instead of going by, he turns his ship and makes a beeline for the Union lines. And before they realize what happened, he's out of cannon range. But now he's got a bigger problem because he's a Confederate ship steaming toward the Union lines, and the Union ships are now preparing to fire on him. The captain of the Onward, leading that blockade, is loading cannons, getting ready to fire at a charging Confederate ship. So he pulls down the Confederate flag. Robert Smalls throws up a sheet, and at the last second, the Union line did not fire on him. Now picture this moment if you can. The ship coming out of the dark, pulling up a side. All the people on the Onward run to the side to say, who is this that has stolen this ship and is surrendering to us? And suddenly those men see a ship full of black men. And Robert Smalls walks on over with this ship full of Confederate munitions, this valuable ship, and he walks to the side of the ship. The captain of the Onward is staring at him confused, and he looks at him and then looks up at the American flag. And Robert Smalls says, can I have one of those for my ship, please? And his wife comes out of the hull of the ship holding their daughter and holds that child up to the American flag and says to the daughter, that flag right there, that flag will do you some good. My fellow Americans, from Crispus Attucks to Barack Obama, black people have been a part of this nation. We've redeemed the soul of our country time and time again. From labor rights to union rights to suffrage rights, we have fought in every major battle, and it wasn't who was president of the United States. Lincoln did not free the slaves. We freed the slaves. It is our power that has made this nation who it is. And now we must stand up like Langston Hughes said, America never was America to me, but I swear this oath, America will be. We must be like the poet who said America has got a dream with its back against the wall. To save the dream for one, we must save the dream for all. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, land where our mothers and fathers died, land of Harriet Tubman's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. We are our salvation. We are our freedom. Let freedom ring. We will mobilize and organize. Let freedom ring. We will stand to our feet, and with the conviction of our chorus of ancestors, we say again, let freedom ring. This is our nation under God, one nation, and we shall be free. Thank you.
Reverend Cory Booker. Wait a minute, Senator, let's do a selfie.
All right, we're going to do a rare video selfie. So we're going to say like we're here alone, and then we're going to turn around, and you all got to make a lot of noise. You got to be as loud as New Jerseyans, okay? Okay, New Yorkers or Norkers. All right, hold on one second. Rev, we are at the 35th anniversary of NAN. And we're not alone, one of the biggest turnouts ever.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
We're
you.
not by ourselves.
We are not by ourselves. Who we got with us? Who we got with us, Rev?
Well, let's show them.
All right. 35 years, still going strong. Organize, mobilize, stand up. Thank you, Rev.
Cory Booker, give him a hand. All right. Shh. I want to bring our national leaders to the stage. All right, but we're going to raise our offering first. Somebody said Central Ward. All right. Shh. I want everybody to give to the best of their ability. I didn't raise our regular offering this morning, and y'all know we got a lot of bills at the hotel here. I don't want them having 911 when I check out. I want everybody to give to the best of your ability. Many of you come from around the country, and y'all did not come to New York broke. Don't tell me that y'all ain't got no money. Y'all come here buying all this stuff up and down Times Square. How we do? Y'all are holding. All right, who's ever helping to hold? I need first, I got a lot of people here from our different chapters, and I know some of them have seen Reverend Toon, but I need a lot of you from around the country. Don't embarrass me. We're going to raise a lot of money and pledges on the building. Y'all know I've been talking all 35 years. Reverend Jackson was my, yeah, stand over there. Act like you in church. We raising an offering. Reverend Jackson was my mentor, and I would always say, I don't want to be ashamed in front of him raising money. So I look out here now, Jesse Jr. is in the house. Stand up, Jesse Jackson Jr. So don't shame me in front of Jesse Jackson Jr. I need about 25 people that can give $100 or more to stand up and come quickly, at least 25. Come on, come on, come on. Don't make me beg. Give me your name as you Reverend Tulis from Los Angeles, $100. Give me your name. Dr. Chairman Richardson, $100. Bishop Taylor, $100. Mike Garner, $100. Reverend, who is that? I can't see with these lights, man. Reverend Porter, $100. Syracuse, $100. Reverend Hughes, $100. Guardians, $100. Myra Simmons, Cleveland, Ohio chapter, $100. Brother John, $100. Larry Young from Baltimore, $100. Rich. Visitors from Queens, $100. Larry Young's giving $500 for the building fund. Darrell Roberts, $500 for the building fund. Deborah Frazier House, $100. Ricky Thompson, $100. Rodney James, $100. Sister Marcia McCoy, head of Greater Cleveland chapter of National Action Network, $100. Reverend Fordham, Philadelphia chapter, National Action Network, $100. Don't count off the roll, just drop the whole roll in the pay. He peeling off the roll, just drop the roll. You'll get home, the Lord will make a way. Give me the... Dial from the Bronx, Dahlia from the Bronx, $100. DeWitt and Cromedy family, $500 for the building fund. Annette Wright out of Detroit, $100. Malika, where's Malika? Malika Shabazz, $100. All right. Diane Glover giving for the building fund. She said she lived right near the building fund. Near the building, all right. Herbert Douglas from Florida, $100. Janita Dow from Chicago, $100. I see our Chicago folk. Martise Chisholm, $200 for the building fund. That's our chapter leader in Tennessee. Marcia McCoy, head of Greater Cleveland National Action Network, giving $500. All right, where are you sitting up there with that $1,000 jacket on and hat, looking like Superfly and ain't gave me no money? Come on, strut on down here, come on. That's right. That's how we used to do in the 70s, right? Giving $500. All right, you that didn't have 100, that whatever you can, come on, everybody give something. We going on with the program. $1, $5, $10, everybody, come on. Y'all up there with the music, play me some house music. Folk like to give money to the beat. Give me some house music. Come on, give me some house music. Everybody give. If the person next to you didn't give, hunch him and tell him get up and give. Bring out our national leaders. Where did Governor Bashir leave? I wanted him to take Tony back to Kentucky with him. Let him take care of the horses at the Kentucky Derby. Shh. All right, nice to see you. We're going to stay on time. We're going to hear from our national leaders giving their report as our partners, and then I'm turning over to the youth for our sessions all day. The young people have been rehearsing and getting ready. We brought in, where's Cassius? We brought in young people from 5 campuses that are now building chapters of National Action Network in 5 campuses. We did HBCU tour. Reverend Stephen Marshall, where you been hiding? That's where you come at the right time at the offering. Don't know, give him no change. All right. Anyone that needs a job, the job